Alex and Dylan from Half Heard Voices.
What
cool
up?
name. Rolls off pretty cool. How you guys doing?
Good. I got my ginger ale here. I'm getting over a weekend of the flu. So
Oh no.
yeah.
You have the stomach one?
Really binge drinking. What?
You have the stomach flu or
No, it was mostly like nausea and like I didn't throw up or anything, but it's just like kind of like COVID, like just body ache, and you just
right.
feel like shit, and you're just like just bedridden and want to close my eyes and
Ginger ale's my
yeah.
guy. I have horrific acid reflux. It's literally like a dragon hatched an egg in my throat and just
That sucks. Yeah, my fiance had it.
Yeah, but ginger ale's my go-to, man. It fixes it every time.
Yeah,
So
it's like the best. It's like an excuse to drink soda because it has the ginger and it does make you feel better. Like if you're having stomach issues. So I just say whatever the fucking 49 grams of sugar.
Whatever.
It's energy. Yeah.
Energy. And I have diabetes, but it's totally worth it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Just dig in. So reading through your stuff, seems like you guys formed in Maryland. Like how did that connection happen?
Yeah. So that was it started out as a passion project. Me and Stefan, the bassist, we were living together at the time, and I just started writing this EP just to do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let's track some bass. You want in? And he started throwing down, and then we got our friend Zach, who I was in a band with, Zach Gunther. We were in a band previously, and insane vocalist, just absolutely brutal. And he threw down on that, and I ended up recording the drums, and we sent it off to a couple friends who Steph went to school with to do some guest solos for absolute monsters. Andrew Pevney, and there's our buddy Gunter as well. And they were like, "Are you guys going to play this out?" And we never really thought about it. We just did it just for the sake of music. So we got a band together. We got another guitarist and found a drummer, and that's how it all started, just by the good word of some crazy guitar solo, guys who did these guest solos who kind of pushed us in the right direction. I was just like, you guys should really, you should chase this. And, here we are 6 years later, still doing it, wild.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the origins of the band name, Half Heard Voices.
So, Stefan, he's the one who coined it, and we went through a couple different titles, and he was watching some Star Trek. There's I forget who on the show said it, but they mentioned Half Heard Voices, and it sounds really cool. Not sure what it really meant at the time, but the way that Stefan,
the man,
was it Patrick Stewart? Yeah, probably, man, freaking legend. And Stefan and I, we bounced around from different bands in the Frederick circuit, where it was at a point where things started to gain momentum, and then our project unfortunately fell apart, and we had to start over. So the whole idea of Half Heard Voices, it's like, you've seen us play, you know who we are, but it's just like you haven't quite fully gotten the full picture yet. So It was a nice double entendre in the sense of, we're all sci-fi nerds anyways, and it played a really good part to the testament of our mission statement. It's like, we're not done yet. We're just getting started. You may have heard us, but now you're hearing us. So that's how it all came about.
That's cool. And listening back to some of these, especially the new track, Neon Nailbomb, there's a lot of cinematic elements to the song. Mm-hmm. Was that on purpose, or is that what you guys are really into? Is like a 9 Inch Nails, Atticus type thing, or?
Yeah, so I'll start this one, and Alex, I'll let you finish up because Alex had a huge inspiration on how the song finally came out. But it all started. This was in 2022. There was a contest to write a song for the game Cyberpunk, and this before it was like a month or two before we're going on the road with Soulfly, and I was like, let's do something fun, send it out. If anything, it's just a good writing exercise. So we put it together in the vein of, we wanted to sound like the game Cyberpunk, which Varen had the natural sounds of just grandiose, almost cinematic tendencies. and that song didn't really go anywhere. We didn't actually publish it. Then one day, about a year ago, I was day drinking, and I was like, let me remix this song real quick, and I put it back in the chat, and Steph and Alex were just like, dude, let's go for it again. And then here's where I tossed the ball to Alex, where he had a huge hand in changing the skin of the song,
Yeah, so I mean, Dill said it went in the backlog. Like, I always was like, dude, this song is killer, and it's like so simple but driving with these huge synthwave elements. And like, I'm a big fan of some synthwave bands like Gunship, and just the chorus hook like was continually in my head. And when it comes down to that, like when it keeps coming back to you and you're like, I really like this, I think people will like it too, that's when you think it should flourish into a real song. So there was quite a few different revisions, right? Because the first one was like for a video game, and then we kind of hashed it out and then made it more into a rock song, and kind of took the it's not exactly original, I guess, because everybody was kind of writing about it during the pandemic, which is like this feeling of isolation, but also driving into like the cyberpunk theme of techno dystopia, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so, and I mean, the guy's just talking about like, my whole life is staring at this screen. I'm under this roof, and especially during COVID, like my only form of social interaction was like doing what we're doing right now, like hanging out with some friends on Discord and drinking beer and stuff. So
right,
like it's I think it reflects a lot of those themes. But Dill is just killer at like just diving into logic and
right.
Really writing out all the synths and instrumentation and arranging. So he gave me a lot to work with, and we're pretty happy with how it turned out.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool. I have a lot of friends that are musicians that are jumping the fence over into film score, right? Like for instance, I wouldn't say Herman Lee from Dragon Force, but their song, I don't know if you know, but it was the song you had to beat in Guitar Hero to win the game.
Oh, I've seen those videos of the kids playing it on Expert on like 3 times speed. And I'm just
it's crazy, man.
You guys should play real guitar.
yeah. Then another buddy of mine is Tony Kanal, who is in No Doubt. And he does a lot of film score for like Netflix
No
shows.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Not to go on a tangent, dude, but No Doubt has some fucking good like riffs, some great instrumentation. Yeah. And
I met him on a group
deep cuts, man.
Yeah. We went on a group trip together to Hawaii, and then that's when I learned that he really was delving deeply into film score and television score.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and they're back together doing a handful of shows every now and then. And then another guy, another Tony, is Tony Hajar, who was the drummer for At the Drive-In.
Okay. Oh, hell yeah.
He does shit for like Christopher Nolan, all the Marvel stuff,
Awesome.
So there's a great living to be had, like scooting over to that part. You guys ever think about doing that?
Every
like
day,
when you're writing your music, do you see like a scene in your head when you're writing?
Absolutely. I think for me, it all comes from the chorus first. And I know that's a pretty common thread amongst musicians, is to write the common theme and, kind of build off of that. Or maybe that's just me. I like to get the universal idea of it and like, how big can I make it? And then naturally I kind of fall into my love for music and I'm sorry, like for movie cinema, Jesus Christ, cinema scores. And most of the time I oversaturate the chorus with too many fucking backing tracks and strings. So I gotta take away and scrape and delete. Yeah. But no, I mean, just the I think of title credits, ending credits, like the most epic parts of a movie. And it's like, how can I put that into a chorus? And you know, just get that emotion of just, I mean, this is the main idea of the song. This is the theme.
Right.
You want to make it huge. You want to make it moving. You know, doesn't matter what the song's about. If it's
Right.
Bad attitude, good attitude, whatever. It's like you want that to give someone something to hold on to. So
Sure.
definitely, you know, cinema comes out every time I'm writing, even if it's just for fun.
Right.
If I'm just riffing or just happen to pull up Logic and it's like, let's find some new sounds. And eventually I'm like, holy shit, like I want to write something like that sounds like Interstellar. And then it's just another fun thing to do.
Well, it's funny you say the beginning credits and ending credits because as a filmmaker, I would know this, but you get to charge triple whatever the rate is for your publishing on the beginning and end, like 3 times. So if it's 30 grand, you're going to get 90 now, you know. If there's a title credit rolling over your music, you're going to get triple pay. Sucks for me, but it's great for the artist, right?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck,
so that's
man.
the goal then.
That is the goal. That's what you want to get into. Yeah. So,
yeah, I guess there's that's always been kind of, there's so many side projects that I have interest in and that I want to gravitate to, because I love writing stuff in MIDI and like being able to write out a whole orchestra and stuff in your seat. I mean, it's freaking awesome, like what you can do with technology now. But I think I would actually kind of ask Dill this too. Like I think it's I try not to get too sidetracked, and it's at the end of the day, it's all about like how much energy am I devoting to this thing that's not going to end up, going towards the band, right? It's like anything that's not like, for my work or job or whatever, like regular life stuff, most times try to do something that in some way can benefit the band and the project.
Yeah, finite time.
Yeah, that happens to me quite often, man. It's like, when I first started getting into the filmmaking aspect of things, and I've been told many times, man, don't wear all the hats because you're going to fuck something up, And sure enough, when you fuck something up, you go back and listen to this little bird in your head from what you've been told previously, and you're like, shit, man, shit the bed on this.
Yeah.
Do you guys find that quite often with so many moving parts?
I'm sorry, do we what?
Do you guys
How many times have I shit the bed?
Yeah. No, figuratively, yeah, not literally. Like just trying to do too much.
We've had blunders for sure, and trying to do too much where it's like, dude. Well, I mean, for instance, especially when we get back from these tours, it's like we don't talk or do anything for like weeks at least. Normally, we kind of go on vacation and not vacation literally, but like vacation of just focusing back on our own lives and
AKA going back to work.
Catching up on them credit card bills and all that. Yeah, the real life stuff.
Half the guys I know that are like the hired guns, that play for Pink and Lady Gaga and whoever, they're painting houses and doing construction when they're not on the road. They're not making the money you think they're going to make,
Yeah, that was always something we'd grow up hearing, and it's like, oh yeah, so and so from Lamb of God has a full-time job, or what's his name? The bassist from this band is just he's a gas station clerk, or from like really big bands. You're just like,
Well, I mean, Greg Upchurch was playing with Three Doors Down. He still is, but I interviewed him for the film, and he was like, yeah, when I'm on the road, man, he goes, I was sitting on a bucket eating lunch because I was painting somebody's house. And I look up and it's Matt Sorum from Guns N' Roses. And Matt's like, didn't I just see you in Austria with Chris Cornell? Because he played with Chris Cornell. He goes, yeah. He goes, what are you doing here? He goes, painting your fucking house. He had no idea,
That's awesome.
I'm working.
Yeah. So let's talk about Neon Nailbomb. How did that song come about? And I watched the video, man. It's a vivid, colorful video, man. It's killer.
Yeah. So that was the one for the Cyberpunk contest that we talked about earlier, but the for the video, speaking of side projects, like every time we like finish an album or whatever, I kind of meander into like learning game development and Unreal Engine and stuff, because that's like something I'd like to dive into, but you can only go so much because there's only so much time in the day. But for my day job, I am a software developer, so I have some of those skills. And yeah, so I built out that video in Unreal Engine.
Wow.
Simulating all the like car traffic, all the weather, the clouds and atmospheric fog. And yeah, it's super fun, and it's so cool to see what you can do with like these tools that you get for free. And so Unreal is made by Epic, and that's basically the company that makes Fortnite, makes Gears of War, like tons of huge games. Obviously, Unreal Tournament, right? Like, so they go back for forever, and just it's one of the leading game engines for hobbyists and indie devs, but also some pretty big publishers are using it. Like I think the next Witcher game is going to be on Unreal Engine, which a CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, one of my graphics guys is a master at the Unreal Engine. And if you look at like shows, what was the Netflix show he did? Waco.
Waco,
right?
Yeah.
The building, he built that, and you can't tell. Like, you're just floored. Like, this is not real. And then he did the Oklahoma City bombing documentary. So the camera's in the building, and it's pulling back and showing the destruction, all from a single image.
Man.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. He's in France, but he's a badass. And the video game side of things is pretty cool because I just moved here from Santa Monica, and that's where all Riot Games, Activision, all that stuff. And these buildings are like fucking giant. Like, what? And then you read about it and you see how many people it takes and all the years it takes to make these video games. And they even have, I think Riot Games has a stadium where they do all these tournaments and stuff, like 4 blocks from where I lived, so you see all these kids running in there to do all these cool video gaming things. So I never really got into gaming. My son, on the other hand, is a freak about it. He's still playing. Yeah, he's 35.
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these top of the line games like Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead Redemption. I mean, they're basically simulating a real world, and they're trying, like, the amount of interactions, the amount of scenarios and use cases, like things that they have to cover. Like, you see why it's like 500 people working on this thing for years and like extended hours with like not even that great a pay, like
right.
And
I had a couple of buddies that worked at Lucas Film too, and they developed a few video games.
They had some awesome some good Star Wars games. Yeah.
My next door neighbor, when I was living in Northern California, worked for Lucasfilm, but he was what they call, what was it? Like he worked in the render farm. So they're building or making all these different movies, whether it be the Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and he's underground with petabytes of storage, right? Huge, and it's freezing, because you got all these air conditioners blowing. And you're looking, it's as far as the eye can see, man. It is crazy.
Hey, who's gonna render, Jar Jar Binks's like HD skin up close, where you gotta have Jabba Hutt's palace, a Disney song now.
And when I was with him, he's probably working in 4K, and now he's got 16K cameras, so you can really get nitty-gritty. Oh yeah, they're I think Red has one. Yeah, I think the only camera I did the Sony Venice is 6K, and it's pretty devastating when you're looking at that footage too. Yeah. So are you two guys the main songwriters?
I would say yes, from the ground up. Okay. Alex and I we get the whole shot when it comes to how the songs are sounding. Like, what's the identity of the song? You know, Alex and I, we worked very close together on this last album. You know, he would come over and we would just sit in my studio and just work on a chorus for an hour or two. Be like, all right, see you next time, kind of thing. So we really, you know, had good conversation as far as figuratively and metaphorically, or figuratively and literally, about, you know, how are the vocals going to work with the song. And Stefan, he's the one who helped shape these songs. He more or less produces them when it comes to arrangements, different harmonies, embellishments. So it all really starts with Alex and I.
Okay. And Dylan, do you write songs for Alex's vocals specifically, or is it just here's some riffs? Do you think you can sing something over this and let's keep pushing it?
You know, it's after every album cycle, I keep Alex more and more in mind. Not saying that I never, you know, not saying it was like, oh, Alex will figure it out, but
right.
You know, it's a lot of rinse and repeat. It's like, well, this key really works for Alex, or this tempo, or maybe these choruses don't need to be so busy with guitar. So definitely over the past couple albums, it's I'm lending these songs more towards vocals. And I'm not saying that I'm diminishing the guitar work or anything else. It's just more of a conscious effort to be like, all right, Alex, your launch pad for these tunes are now X feet bigger. So you're going to have a better on you showing your character. So I'm really excited about that.
Restraint is such a luxury when you're a vocalist and your guitarist has restraint and the foresight to think like, we need some big chords, or we need ambience, we need things here to let vocals have room, but also you know, let the mix get the space it needs for all the different instruments, right? And I mean, there's so much technicality in like our kind of niche of like progressive metal, but also kind of just straightforward rock and roll, that I think we try to hit like a pretty fine balance between like, we have some really cool technical riffs, and then we also have straightforward hooks that can draw you in.
Yeah.
Alex, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to finish. You know, the way that we wrote this last album was definitely, we wanted to be more riff heavy, which I believe will lend itself, or has lended itself a lot better to Alex to put vocals over, which in turn kind of brought us back to our roots, because we love the riff, man. You know, we're all big Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera fans.
Right.
And our second EP was a great EP, but some of those tunes, man, we're like up on stage vocally, you know, and drums on bass guitar. We're all doing our taxes up there, just like, you know, like really trying to hold it together. So as the songs and albums went on, we're like naturally just writing into the stuff that we grew up on, and that really shows our inspiration. And I think that's what's made it for me so enjoyable to listen to what Alex has when he sends us a demo, and just like a rough demo. And we're all, you know, wise enough now to look past the demoitis. And when I hear it, I'm just like, you know, 2 revisions tops. I'm like, dude, this is so like, it's so exciting to hear vocals on a first or second take that just fit. And it wasn't even anything I had in my brain, you know. That's the exciting part. So circling back, you know, do I have Alex in mind when I write? Absolutely. But I'm not writing for Alex. I'm writing in a way that it sounds like us, and that in itself gives Alex his voice, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask Alex, do you play instruments on stage, or are you just straight up vocalist?
We've kind of talked about it sometimes, but no, we've always just kind of stuck to having me be the lead vocalist and just focus on that, and being able to get down and get in people's faces and Well, looks like we lost Dill, but it's all right. Oh, he's coming back.
Yeah. Well,
I'm back. Yeah. I'm back, baby.
All right. Dylan, you're talking about the progressive guitar playing and how sometimes that can kind of get in the way a little bit. And you're just talking about some of your favorite bands, but I attempted to play guitar at one point, so I failed at that and went into photography, and it worked out a little bit. But I remember going to see Megadeth on the Peace Sells tour in a little tinny shitty club in Atlanta called the Metroplex. And I was at the foot of the stage, and I'm looking at Dave Mustaine playing The Conjuring and like singing at the same time, right? Does that shit blow your mind when you see like a Hetfield with that right hand attack and being able to sing? Like it fucks me up.
Oh, we're on the move.
Okay. Yeah.
I will say, like, these guys have crazy right hands, and there's some. Dill's also a drummer, right? And
okay.
Some of their I kind of joke. I'm like, I still don't know how some of these rhythms are counted, or I still don't know what they actually are. And I really appreciate though how he has a great way of being able to pull them all around so that they all sync up on 4/4 eventually, and everything can, realign. And I don't know. I don't think it's possible to be able to really play those songs and sing at the same time, because it's just so nuts with these kind of genty progressive type of riffs.
Right. So John Connolly, who's the guitar player for Seven Dust, one of them, was a drummer first, right?
Yeah.
And he told me straight up, he goes, man, it helped my rhythm playing so much.
Yeah.
I was like, no doubt. With the two of you being the main songwriters, and it seems like you guys get along great, man. And I try to keep a really tight-knit crew together when I'm on set. No egos, no fights, everything's fun. Is that how it is with you guys? Is it like a cool communal thing where there's the egos left at the door if there is one?
Yeah. You always try. I think when it's like you've been doing it as long as we have, and we're like in our 30s now, and if you're still doing it, we're just trying to be the most professional and level-headed about everything that we do. And I mean, I was listening to a Metallica interview with Hetfield, and he was just talking about how each of them had like so many pent-up aggressions to each other. They had alliances and disagreements and everything between them, and all of this is happening while they're making the Black Album. And they had to eventually have like counseling, I think, and they learned that if you communicate and you guys voice these things that maybe you're just projecting unconsciously, and you guys talk things through, let yourself be heard. A lot of times there's so much you can resolve, and you can work things out.
Right.
So but ego is always kind of a thing where especially me as a vocalist, I try to not let it get in the way. Try to make sure everybody can have their time in the spotlight when we're on stage, or especially on the recordings, make sure the bass is loud enough, make sure everything can be heard, make sure these cymbals aren't actually getting drowned out in the mix or something like that. So it's important, right? Like everybody deserves their spotlight.
Do you guys bring in a producer and engineer in the recording process?
Yeah, we always have another producer, get their eyes on it and make sure that arrangements and things are working. Sometimes I'll even hit up my old vocal teacher, and I'll have us go through vocal harmonies and arrangements, make sure there's not some demoitis thing where I'm hearing something that's not actually in the chord or not, doesn't actually make sense. We do everything we can. And yeah, having another set of eyes and ears on your stuff is so essential.
Right. Talk to me a little bit about your guys' touring situation. What are some of the bigger tours you guys done? And do you prefer like club shows or festivals or arenas?
We haven't played in arenas, but we do love playing festivals. That's the best feeling ever, right? And seeing the feel of the people. And but yeah, yeah, we just finished up our 3-part tour with Alisana. It was a really awesome tour. I'm trying to remember. It was part 3 of their, I think it was called like the trilogy tour. Anyways, we did 3 runs, and it's really smart the way that they do it. They break it up, and so you're not doing the entire U.S. and all of the different regions at once. You do like our first one would be the East Coast, right? Mostly, and maybe you end up somewhere around Texas or something, and then that would be like 3 weeks or so. Then we take off a few weeks, and then you have the next run, and it kind of spaces it out. It's great. Like you have all this time and material to like share stuff on social media. You have all this time to recuperate in between,
Right.
catch up on work or whatever, see your pets, see your family, all that. And then you you recover, and then you can get back on the road and feel recharged. So it's pretty smart.
Sounds like
yeah. You learn so much when you work with like, complete pros like them. And
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm doing it again, if it's my choice, that's how I'll do it. Break it up,
Yeah, it stinks for me, man. Because I toured for 25 years, I think, and I missed a lot of my kids' early childhood.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Try to make it. Yeah, it wasn't until I was about 51, 52. My last tour I ever did was with Five Finger Death Punch.
Wow. Wow.
That rotted my soul. And I'm like, I got to find a way out of here,
Yeah.
Was that because of, I don't know, politics, or was it because of just being away from the family, or?
It was a lot of things. Well,
yeah,
I did it for so long, and I was living in Northern California at the time, and I wasn't able to enjoy it. I was touring 9 months out of the year, right?
Yeah.
So I'd hop off one tour and jump on another.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was just talking about it with my buddy. You know the band Seether?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So I toured with those guys for many, many years and did a lot of studio work with them, with like Brendan O'Brien, and it was like, wow, this is cool, But their drummer lives about 2 blocks away from me. That's one of the reasons I moved specifically here. Yeah, so at least I knew somebody and whatnot. But he went to the Stain show with me, and we were talking about it because it was in Oklahoma at a festival called Rocklahoma. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not, but it's near Tulsa. Big 3-day giant bands or whatever. And I was touring. I was with Stain at the time. Hadn't worked with Seether before, but it was like Stain's last show of that tour that I was on with them was Rocklahoma. Then everybody's going home. Seether's started that Sunday at Rocklahoma, headlining it. And they're like, "Hey, can you jump on with us for 5 or 6 weeks?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Tomorrow." I'm like, "Well, fuck it. I got all my gear out here, my clothes. I have nothing."
Because I'm not going home after all.
Yeah, man. So I think a lot of people, especially like the fans or whatnot, maybe talk about what touring relentlessly can do to you and relationships and mental health, the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go, Dill? Is your mic, your internet stable?
Am I good? Am I live? Sorry, my phone self-destructed. I had to go get a charger.
I can hear you. I can hear you fine. Yeah.
So what touring does to relationships and mental health? That's the question. Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, these guys. Okay, so it's funny to see the politics of how everybody handles their relationships differently. Like,
right.
One guy is like on the phone constantly with his girlfriend, and maybe they're fighting, or my fiance and I have like a very like steady trusted relationship. So actually, like I end up calling her like once every few days because she knows I'm tired and she's busy, doing work or whatever, like doing her own thing. And anyways, sorry, I wanted to interject and add that
For sure.
because that's what I thought of whenever Dill brought it up.
But no, for me, I mean, I get my energy from touring. I get my that's my life force. We haven't, I don't want to say we haven't toured that much, but we, for this band, I never thought we were going to tour as much as we have, which is, I'm thankful for that every day, because the experiences that I got with my bandmates, my friends, meeting new people, like I get that. Like I finally understand when, I hear interviews from bands that I look up to and they're like, talking about, friends that they'll never forget or experiences that they never thought would happen to them. Like I just don't get that, it seems like, I played a lot of shows, but I haven't been on the road like that yet. So, coming back, it's just like this turning of a chapter. And I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about my bandmates, learned a lot about our music, and that, I've learned a lot about my relationship that I have with my girlfriend. And she's very, very supportive of me on the road. I would like to let her know when I'm safe. We drive like maniac, not like speeding or anything, but
Right.
we run a tight crew. It was 4 of us on this last run, so no partying, ice water. We have to be sober enough. We have to be able to drive. 5-6 hours into the night going through the Utah desert.
Oh yeah.
So letting her know when we made some truck stop in the middle of nowhere. It's definitely tough because of the time change, and better than we do. It's like when you're on a schedule, you're on a schedule. So sometimes you may miss a call, and
right.
that could be anxiety inducing for the other person. But it's all about communication. It's all about just treating it like you're back home. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man, you guys are great to have girlfriends that support it, because none of mine did. They were like, "Who are you fucking tonight?" I'm like, "Good Lord, psycho." But to her credit, like I think I was out with Disturbed or Nickelback or whoever, one of those bands. But I have to ride with the artist because I'm documenting everything. And Chad Kroger had a stripper pole, and there's always girls on there, and she would call me, and she'd hear all these chicks screaming and cackling, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing. I'm just living. Jesus Christ, If I don't want to be with you, I wouldn't, because there's, it's like." And now touring is like, especially recently in the last 10 years now, you're talking about the drinking and drugs and everything. Now it's fucking hot yoga. Everybody's a vegan, like like no partying, and like the families are coming out, and like I remember with Nickelback, we went out, they had like bouncy, the bouncy houses or whatever. They would rent those and have them set up with the family there and cook out, and completely
that sounds
different
like a good time. Yeah, we should get some of those.
Yeah, well, when my first tour was in 2000, was a festival tour with Slayer, Slipknot, and all these other bands, and we played Red Rocks.
Hell yeah!
And I don't know, I think it was Kerry King was like, "Hey man, is there any pizza left in catering?" I was like, "I'll go look." It was like 1:30 in the morning, and like 1:45, and the bus calls, leaves at 2. Come out, the bus is gone. I'm like, "Oh my God."
Oh shit!
I've been oil spotted. You know what I mean? The only time I've ever been oil spotted was on my first tour. I was such an idiot, and thankfully the Slipknot guys let me ride their bus. I think we were going to Utah, Colorado. It was, yeah, but if they would have said no, I'd have been fucked. Like I guess I'm gonna have to find my way to Utah for the next gig.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, are you guys going to be touring this new? Is it an EP or is it a full length that you're?
It's full length.
Okay. Are you guys to like tour it over the fall or the spring?
Yeah, we'd love to do something to promote it. So I'm thinking we're probably looking for something in the spring, I think.
Okay.
We were hoping for something, this fall. but just what the, everything always takes longer than you expect. I was like, yeah, it'll be done by April. Yeah, it'll be done by June. And, here we are. And I'm like, I'm finally done, and it's September. But, it takes what it takes. Like an album is such a monumental amount of work, especially, like if you're like me and you have this ego that you have to do all these different harmonies and stack layers, and like I can't just have one vocal line. I gotta do all sorts of weird shit. So
double it, stack it, or whatever.
Oh yeah. So
No,
and
that's cool.
That's just how we are. We're like Yngwie Malmsteen. More is more, right?
More is more. Less is not more. I love the idea, and this is something Stefan said years ago that always stuck with me. He's like, I would rather put out a badass album than play a couple shows. And not saying it's one or the other, but it's like, yeah, we did have a timeline and a pretty loose deadline. I mean, we were recording guitar and bass in between legs on our tour with Elisana. So, we'd be on the road for a month, come back home for a couple weeks. We'd just be digging into it. Make sure we still, know our tunes going back out, and, really seeing this through because of the time and money and work that we've put into it, being an unsigned band. It's like, I'd rather not push it and just be like, well, let's just bottleneck it. It's good enough. And then I'm going to listen to it like a year later, be like, why don't we just take a couple extra months? So we were definitely, I think, a little ambitious, be like, we can get this done and out by summer. We can do the DMX two albums in a year. Unfortunately, that the ham is always cooking, but it ain't always ready as an unsigned band. So we
when I tell people that it takes, sometimes 2 or 3 years to make one of these documentaries, and I've seen how long the recording process can take. Like when I go in with Stain to the studio, I did 2 records with them, like as their guy to film everything. They would write. They didn't have bring any riffs in, so Mike Mushock, the guitar player, just come up with some riffs, and he always says he writes for Aaron. It's like I'll just come up with something. If he likes it, then we'll just continue writing it, right?
Yeah.
And from that that's till they track drums was almost 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And then he come in, he does his master guitars and then overdubs and blah blah blah, and then the next thing you know, man, it's been 1.5 years, because then you got to set the record up, do music videos, photo shoots. So I don't think a lot of the audience understands why their favorite bands don't put out an album but once every couple of years, if not longer.
Yeah, unless they're getting other people to write for them, which is cool. It's just there's an expectation now with, I feel like, every brand of music that's modern, that it's the we want it now, we want it faster culture, which has been, I'm still not convinced of it yet, man. Like, I'm old school. Like, I like albums. I love having a full album to listen to. It's like a book. It's like a story. It's like, I don't want to read one chapter and then wait a month for next chapter. It's like Netflix. I want to binge, man. I want to watch the whole season. It evolved. You get dedicated to it.
Remember, we could only watch one show a week before streaming, and now it's like, I want to watch the last. I want to see all 10. Yeah, I want to watch all 10. I want to binge this shit now, man. Why are you making me wait a week?
Right. That's my jam, man. Like, I really try not to listen to singles from my favorite bands, because I don't want to spoil it. I want to hear how those songs interact with all the other tunes. So, that's where I'm at. I'm trying. Maybe I'm just like old man shaking fist at sky.
I think, and I think I think it's a valid opinion. Like, I see the recommendation everywhere is always like, put out a release every 6 weeks, blah blah blah. Like, you have to maintain the algorithm and have all this material, and it's kind of, I don't know. I mean, I feel like for our audience, the people who would kind of like our stuff, who are I would think are people who are just, fans more of music and music culture and progressive, dense stuff, right? I think those are the kind of people who, like me, are maybe you say single, but you want to wait for an album. You want the album. I know people who don't even listen to an artist unless they have a full length album, right? So I feel like it is valid in a way. There's a lot of other things that we try to do to, get exposure or get things out, in between, or, music videos and whatever we can do on social media, tour pictures and stuff like that, that maybe we have still logged away. But it all this kind of brings up a really interesting point, though, which is like, I feel like there's such an expectation of performers to have this like kind of weird Twitch streamer persona, or like, this somebody.
I hate that shit.
I kind of feel like I don't hear that many new bands because there's not that many new bands, because most of these musicians are actually spending more time making like TikTok reels than they are on actually spending the time on making songs. Because I know I don't have any fucking spare time to do anything except write our fucking music. Like if you're working a job and you're doing this, like I don't have time to sit around and think about, what can I do? Like some clever skit or something, or, anyways, that's my old man.
That's it, man. Like I always think, what are my favorite bands doing right now? I always say He Is Legend is like my shit. That is my all-time favorite band.
I've toured with them. Yeah,
man, they're the shit.
Bomb.com, man. Yeah, it was Kill Switch Engaged, them, and
our favorites,
Chimera.
Yeah, dude, that checks all our boxes right there, man.
Yeah, but they were rad. Yeah.
I go to their shows and I'm like, all right, they're absolutely just killing the live show. Okay, mark that down, right?
Yeah.
And I go on their social media and they're not doing the TikToks and the skits and stuff, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna try and do what they're doing because they're my favorite band. So I'm not throwing any shade at anyone else who lives in that TikTok land and really nothing against it, but I think for me, I'm just, if I was to do that, I would look myself like, that's pretty pathetic, Dylan. Shut up and play your fucking guitar. Like, put the camera down.
That's how. Are you an entertainer or are you an artist?
Well, it's funny, man, because you look at like TikTok and living in Oklahoma now, and I worked with this band years ago, a band called the All American Rejects.
Who's that? Never heard of that band.
Yeah, I mean they're like an old, like some 41, whatever,
Oh, I was being sarcastic. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So they were back in the day.
Heard their songs many times.
Yeah, so I was a camera. I was a camera operator on their live DVD they shot at the Bradley Theater in Tulsa, and then we went off and did some behind the scenes. It was for MTV, and now these guys got to be in their 40s, early 40s probably, but they're all over TikTok now doing these house parties. Right, like you sign up, get on their mailing list.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're touring. Like, we'll come to your house, just fill out this paperwork. We'll get permits, whatever we need to get, and they're crushing it right now. But you're right. It's like, I don't know, man. With the touring world now, and especially with records, it seems like everybody's just making money now on either merch, they're publishing if they haven't sold it. Which I would advise you, if you guys have, don't sell it. Just hang on to it, no matter how broke you get. Yeah, because I know a lot of artists that sold their publishing and they're kicking themselves in the ass now. But yeah, Herman. We talked about Herman Lee earlier from Dragon. He does Twitch, and he's making a fortune.
Yeah, I would say
monetizing.
Guys like him and Matt Heafy, like they're really good at it, right? Like they found a way to make that work.
Yeah,
and
I think they jumped on that bandwagon early too.
Yeah. That's where I have my reservations about it, because these are proven. Not saying you have to be a proven artist to like have a stream, but it's like, I hate that it's this mold where it's like, well, you have to do this Twitch stream, or you have to do this because Herman Lee's doing it. Or, you know, like you see these legendary guitarists and musicians, and they've already had a following. They're just moving the momentum more. And it's just like I can't do it. I will not do it. But I do enjoy watching, you know, other guitarists who go up on live, you know, that kind of stuff. So
those are also two of like the biggest names in guitar ever. Like,
right, you know,
like I was learning their riffs at a Guitar World and shit, you know, as a kid, and they probably don't work an 8-hour, you know, a 9 to 5 or something, you know, like they have that time so they can also write and do the streaming thing. Guitar is also different, I guess, than vocals. Like maybe you can do some writing on a stream with guitar. I don't know if you could really do it with vocals. I don't think anybody wants to hear me go like, this is, that's a good, you know, like, here he is looking. Let me look at a thesaurus to try to figure out what I want to say here. And
how many syllables can I fit in this word?
Yeah, seriously, because it gets to that degree, and maybe some people want to see that, but I won't.
Hey, speaking of vocalists, who are some of your favorite vocalists that you really inspired by and just enjoy listening to?
Yeah, all the classics. You know, you could say Freddie Mercury, and
I knew you were gonna say that one first.
Yeah,
James Hetfield and Phil Anselmo. Like those are the classics. But my all-time favorite, and everybody knows it, is M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. I think. Got such an amazing range and like a unique voice, and I know it's polarizing for some people, but man, yeah, just absolutely.
Yeah, he does
one
have
of my favorites.
Voice.
But
I don't know if it's been a while since, but doesn't he always sound like he has kind of like a cold, but it sounds great?
He has a very that's the thing I've always like really like wanted to be able to do, was like have that much fucking rasp. You know what I mean? Like I can do a pretty good James Hetfield impression. I can't, you know, my voice does not drive that hard, but also be able to soar and get that range. He can engage his grit and those upper nasal and like back top of your mouth like cavities to get such heavy grit. And yeah, it sounds awesome. You hear him do it live and you're like, it sounds almost like, you know, inhuman. And that's what always appreciated about that. Appreciated, you know, the Black Album, Hetfield's, like they just stacked all those vocals, and you know the Enter Sandman chorus is like one of the most inhuman, awesome sounding sounds ever, which is why like it fucking charges you out, and you're, you know, if you're a football player or whatever, you're watching your team go out, like it's perfect for that, right?
It is, man. Raw. And Dylan, what about you, man? Who's on your holy grail of guitarists?
Yeah, man, it's always funny because there's my like definite 3, but like, you know, every other month it's like, who am I spinning the most? But top 3 for show, Angus Young. He's the one I had his poster. Really? Yeah, man, I had his poster up. That's why I got an SG as my first guitar. I was like, I want to do that. And
it looks evil. It's got those points on it. It's like,
dude, the SG is underrepresented these days, I feel like.
Yeah. Dude, I still have that thing. That thing got that in like 2001. Tan Booze from He Is Legend, hands down the best tone in the game. And Zach Wilde, 100%.
Okay.
You know,
wow, I didn't know that either. Actually, I was not expecting.
Zach Wilde. Oh my God, yeah, dude. Vibrato.
My favorite, my favorite vocalist, a little older than you guys, Rob Halford, like God. Yeah. I'd say my favorite guitarist would be let's see, Chris Oliva from a band called Sabotage. He is no longer with us, but he's a monster, man. KK Downing, you know, I just love his playing, his tone, whatnot. I'm old. It's all older shit. Yeah.
There's too many to choose from, man. It's so hard to really pin it down. You know, so you just gotta go with it.
As we get older, you realize like the classics, like the good music is good music, and
right?
it sticks around forever, right? And
yeah, I mean, let's talk about that for just a second. Timeless music. What happened to that? Like, are there any bands that are currently out now that are
well, that's what I
newer?
was saying. Like, it
Yeah, it's
seems like everything is like a rehash of something else that has been. Like, what fucking time period are we in right now that is gonna have an iconic, lasting? Like, I guess it's gonna be like Taylor Swift or something like that. Like, you know, you think back on each generation and decade, it's like you can think of, oh yeah, 80s, like all that great hair metal bands, 70s, all these great prog rock bands, 60s, like the fucking beat, like the first rock bands of like that caliber. And what the fuck do we have now? Like I mean, there are lots of great bands, but I think it's also just kind of a shitty repercussion of streaming and pirating music. Like you don't have the mega stars, but also that also means all of the scenes are kind of fragmented, and everybody, like, yeah, there's lots of really great artists and subgenres, and they're all very niche, but it's very hard to like be like, what is the defining rock or metal band of
today,
this era? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's funny
I
you say
could say
that.
like Sleep Token or something like that, but
Yeah,
it's not
it's
at that
funny,
level.
man, because I think it was last year's Super Bowl. There was like a commercial or a meme or something with Creed, right? And all of a sudden, that early 2000s, late 90s is making a revival, man. They came through here, and I know the guy. I've toured with those guys for a bit, and I hit him. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm living in Oklahoma. Can I come to the show?" And brought my camera to shoot some photos. Dude, it was the Paycom Center where the Oklahoma Thunder play. Holds like 19,000 people. They sold it out so hard they had to sell out behind the stage. Like every ticket was sold, dude. It was insane. You know, it was them, Three Doors Down, and Wolf Van Halen who blew my socks off. You know? It's one thing to hear it on the album, but when you see it live and you see what he's doing to that guitar, it'll fuck you up, right?
Yep.
It was so good. What are you listening to these days? Any newer, like 10 years and up bands that you enjoy?
Dill turned me on to The Cost, which is
man.
I forget that guy's name, but he's like one of the you'd recognize him because he's like the fucking fastest blast beat drummer ever, like on YouTube. Like that's his thing. But he's just like a fucking incredible drummer. But his band is like really good, like just straightforward, like kind of rock, modern rock band type stuff. Like it's not he's not like showing off and like overplaying or anything like that. Which, you know, sometimes I kind of wish, like, almost wish it got more technical and progressive, because you know he can do it. But I also respect that he respects the musicality of the song. So The Cost, they have some really cool songs. With Serge Tankian from System of a Down is on one of them. I listen to this band, The Deer Hunter, a whole lot.
Oh yeah, man!
What else do I listen to?
Put me on to those guys last year. Holy hell!
Fucking awesome vocalist. And arranger. Yeah, he's actually a dude who does a lot of arrangements for bands. Of course I've been listening to a lot of Mastodon. Rest in peace, Brent Hines. That was like that was a defining moment, I felt like, because it was like, wow, that is one of my generation's heroes.
Yeah, one of my guitar guys. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So I grew up in Atlanta, so I knew all those guys. When I told you I was a fiddle guitarist, I was in a shitty band, and we rehearsed at the same place that Mastodon did, like before they got a deal. It was called Black Box. Yeah, so they would always come over. We'd always hang out, have a beer afterwards or whatnot. And I've got to tour with Mastodon a few times, but man, the pantheon of the musicianship in that band, man.
Practice Guy is one of my favorite all-time albums. Yeah, for sure.
So good. I got to say, the only new band that my son turned me on to, and a lot of people they just shit all over them, is Ghost.
I love Ghost. I've seen them like 5 times. Yeah.
I
didn't know I don't know if I would consider them new. I guess we could. I would say that's
10
they're
years.
kind of, I would say that is, if we're gonna think about one of the defining rock bands of kind of this time, I would say they'll be remembered. I think Tobias Forge is such, he just oozes charisma, dude. Like when he's on stage and he's just making these jokes and just being satanic but funny, like silver tongues, you know, kind of guy.
Sexual innuendos.
Yeah, it celebrates the female orgasm. And like they have fucking nuns walking out giving communion. He's like, no touching their tushies, and it's just funny. But then it becomes this, like, it's a fucking rock.
Dude, I just saw them in Dallas.
Fucking,
like 2 weeks ago, I went to Dallas to go. Dallas is only like 2.5 hour drive. So I was like, you know what? And my buddy was their head of security. He's like, come to the show.
Yeah.
I went to it, dude. It was enormous, man. The production was insane. They sounded great. The musicianship is next level.
All those guitars. He writes all those guitars too. He writes all those solos and shit.
Yeah. And his drums. You know, he was a drummer first. Yeah. But it was such a fun show. The crowd, it's just entertaining. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's something like
it reminds me of like 70s, like Blue Oyster Cult meets something. I don't know, man. I think it's really cool. Yeah. Last question, or last two. AI. What do you guys think about that in music, in any form, whether it's creating the artwork?
Don't use it. No.
There you go.
I know a little bit about how AI works under the hood and worked with it, and I mean, it's really it's resampling and kind of reusing. It's very clever in how things get kind of regurgitated in a new, fresh way, right? But to me, it is like almost like theft in a way. It's almost like theft of intellectual property. That's the old man in me. But on the other hand, it's very cool. Some of the things that it can be used for, but like I would never use it to like write stuff or give ideas, I guess.
Right.
I don't know about you, Dill, but
I will say this is funny. I'm not a fan when it comes to using it as a tool to write at all. It just, that takes the point out for me. If I was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to this AI tune to get some ideas, it's like I'd rather listen to like one of my favorite bands, like a living, breathing musician, you know, and use that experience, because that's what music is for me. It's an experience, and it's not just like let me see like the coolest sounding thing I can write. It's like, no, dude, like I like sitting in my studio, drinking a coffee and just writing, listening, being. But so the studio I used to teach at, I would go out in the lobby and they would always have like the smooth fusion instrumental music playing. And I was like, who the hell is this? This is really good. And it was some AI loop, and I was like, oh no, like I've been algorithm, man. I've been marketed, you know. And it was just such a funny moment, because I'm like, holy shit, like the computer's won for a second, you know. So I'm not saying AI can't make good music, because I'm listening. I'm like, ooh, that was a nice lick. And then, you know, the person working up the front desk was like, hey, this is some clanker. Music, and I'm like, fuck. So, you know, I'm just a stupid mountain boy. What do I know? But I know consciously I would never sit down and, like, you know, study an AI track just to get some juice from it. You know, that ain't it. That ain't fun.
No, not at all. Okay, so what's up with you guys? What's next? When's the album coming out? When maybe see you on a tour?
Absolutely, man. We are being very patient with this process as far as getting our mixes exactly the way we want it. We have a music video in the chamber that's being wrapped up as we speak. As far as release date, we're not exactly sure. That's contingent on when we, you know, get the first mixes and send that off to mastering back.
Right.
Realistically, you know, we want to tour in the spring. Never touring in the Northeast in the wintertime ever again, nor the Southwest in the wintertime. Oh my God, dude.
Fuck doing that.
Arizona, I have no idea. But yeah, that's the two big ones for me, is getting these songs back and going on a spring run. Like that's all she wrote for me. That's all I want.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get 1 or 2 singles out before end of the year. And then I think it's generally not advised in the music industry to release like in December or maybe January, or is January when people start releasing again? I don't know, but
I mean, in my field, everybody, it's in the film. I don't know about music, but everybody goes on these 3 or 4 week. The executives on vacation, like we'll be back a week after Labor Day. Wait, so the 2 weeks prior and on Labor Day is not enough? You got to take an additional week, and then and in the fall, man, it seemed like it's a week before Thanksgiving and a week after, literally through January.
Shuts down.
Shuts down. Yeah, I'm losing. I can't sit still. I'm a creative like you guys, man. I want to work. You know, I don't ever want to tour again, but I want to make movies. You know, and everybody's just sitting on their hands. You know, it's like
okay. Shit. Well, by that time, maybe I'll have another EP written, and we'll just start recording it for the next. I mean, that's
right.
That's there, baby. You know,
right?
Who knows?
Yeah. Well, dude, it was so great to get to know you guys and talk for a bit. And I'm going to keep my ears and eyes out for some more music. I've enjoyed listening to what you guys have written so far the past few days. Yeah,
dude, really appreciate you, and thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having us on here. This is awesome. Had a really great time, and hope to do it again sometime.
Yeah. Let's do it when you wrap this album up and get it out. I'm down.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. All right. Jamie, is she still? She's gone. She said, fuck it, I'm out. How do you guys know? How'd you guys know Jamie?
She was she's managing. Yeah. And she saw us we were playing the Meadows in Brooklyn, and she caught our show there when we're on the road with Pretty Things. And she loves the Pretty Things. I think she reps them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
great
I
guys.
Met Jamie, god damn, what was it? 1990 something. You guys are so young. I'll be 60 next month, so I've been around for a minute. But there used to be a metal magazine called Metal Edge magazine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
And I shot a lot for them. And Jamie at the time was running it. We're working at Roadrunner Records, right? And the editor at the time loved Typo Negative. So I would probably done. Oh, really? Okay. I had Johnny. Yeah, I had Johnny Kelly and Kenny Hickey on a couple of weeks ago. It's up.
Oh yeah.
But I've probably done 30 photo shoots, not just live. I'm talking like group shots with Typo. I did one of their back album covers for one of their singles. Cool dudes, man. And I miss Peter still. He was such a cool,
How was Peter,
fun
dude?
guy. He was exactly what
he has intense. Yeah. As
he
intense
just had
behind
this
the
dry,
scenes.
Yeah, he had this dry Brooklyn sense of humor, right? Very dark, very funny, off the cuff, and fast. He just keeps me in tears.
He's my brother's like favorite. My brother's a musician too, my killer guitarist, and that's like his muse, his favorite band of all time. Yeah.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so
Devin
Jamie,
Metallica.
Yeah, in New York, there used to be a thing called the CMJ show. I think it was like some college music radio, whatever.
Okay.
But all these killer bands would come, man. So the year I went, that Jamie invited me to and hooked me up backstage doing shoots, and it was Iron Maiden, Megadeth, Typo Negative, Ugly Kid Joe,
Stacked.
Dude, you've toured with a lot of fucking heavy hitters, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, so backstage was Bruce Dickinson, Peter Steele, Dave Mustaine just having a conversation. And I had my camera. I was like, could I take a picture of you guys real quick? Yeah. So they kind of lined up. I posted that on Instagram about 6 months ago. So I just found the negative.
Mm-hmm.
I think it got like 800,000 views. Like, it was fucking crazy. But anyway, that's how I know Jamie, man. And then all of a sudden, my career kind of took off, and it was like, I started doing video work. She's like, hey, Nickelback needs an EPK. You want to come work? And then she went over to Universal Music, right?
Yeah.
The records. She's like, hey, I got this band 3 doors down, and still dear friends with all those guys. They're just cool dudes, man. And poor Brad, I don't know if you've noticed, but he's got cancer.
Shit. I did not know that.
Yeah, the singer, he's got stage 4 like kidney cancer, and he's I don't think he's got long. It's sad, man. It really is. That's so cool, he is legend,
Yeah.
They were the opening slot on the tour I was on, and I've got those. I know I've got those negatives around here somewhere.
Yeah, all the Pretty Things guitarist was one of their live guitarists.
Let me.
Yeah.
This is maybe something we should have put in the show. That's okay, but just a funny kind of circle of life thing, and I've been listening to He Is Legend since middle school, like 6th or 7th grade. Like that was the I'm Hollywood. That was the album I listened to when I got drunk for the first time. I spun it, Captain Morgan by myself. So they've
damn it, I should have been on the show. Yeah,
it's all good. But they've always been my favorite, and we played a couple shows with them throughout the years. And I got to hang out with Tambooz here and there, and we weren't like friends or anything, but it was just cool to chat with them. He's like, dude, like, you're my guy. I've loved listening to you growing up. It's awesome to play with you. And then we go on the road with Pretty Things, and then Worth was the touring guitarist for Legend for years. And him and I got to talking, and he does artist relations with Mojo Tone. And then he hooked me up, and now, I got Mojo Tone artist deals with them. So, which was just, for me, I'm like, dude, I never thought I'd sponsor anything, let alone like a fucking badass pickup company. And I see Candid from Legend is, one of Mojo Tone's like top guys. And I'm just going through the roster, and I see his picture, and then I see my picture. I'm just like,
mind blown.
How far have we come, man? It's like, this isn't enough for me. Like it's just such a it was like a very special moment,
I think it was 2020. I received an award because I try to shoot on film for photos and film movies as well if I can.
Yeah.
When it makes sense. So I shot some of the Ray Parker Jr. documentary on 16 millimeter film, and I got obviously the film from Kodak. And the president of Kodak at the time was a huge fan of mine. He's a musician, and loved Hired Gun. Right. And if you guys haven't seen it, you should. It's a lesson in touring and what to do and what not to do. I think right now it's streaming on Peacock and Amazon now. Netflix had it for about 4 or 5 years. And anyway, he calls me up. He goes, "Hey man, we do an award show a week before the Oscars every year for the past 10 years or so." I was like, "Okay, cool." He goes, "And we want to award you with the documentarian of the year for shooting your show on film." I'm like, "What? Okay, whatever." I didn't think much about it because I've been to a gazillion festivals and picking up awards for whatever, which is cool. I don't take it for granted, but it is what it is. It's just a statue, unless it's an audience of choice award, because that means something, right? The whole audience loves your film. They voted on it. You won. And I did get 2 of those. Anyway, I show up to this event, I'm in a suit or whatnot. And he's like, "Okay, come on to the green room." So I go to the green room, and there is Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan, Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach, and this rapper named Tyler, the Creator.
No shit.
Because he shoots all his music videos on 16. So now I'm shitting my pants because now I got to make a speech in front of these people and they give me this award, But got to talk to those guys for a few minutes and had to shake. Quentin Tarantino's up there for me.
Oh, right? Same.
Absolutely.
So I got chills talking about it right now. But that was, and then Tyler, the Creator, and I became friends because I lived in Calabasas for a while. And I didn't know this about him, but I saw him come to Starbucks about a week after the award show. And I'm like, "What's up, man?" So we started talking. I was like, "You live here?" He goes, No. I live in Bel Air, which is like more bougie than Calabasas. I was like, "Oh, what, your parents live here?" He goes, "No." He goes, "My boyfriend." I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." I'm a liberal. I don't give a shit. But he was dating Will Smith's son.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, cool, man. So we still keep in touch, and I'm not big time into rap.
Yeah, but he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, he's a super sweet guy, man. Like super nice. Him and you ever heard of Mike Will Made It?
No.
He did all the God, man, this kid, he's only 34 years old, but he started at 16 with like Kanye and like super producer rapper. Then he broke Miley Cyrus after she went from teenage shit to rap, remember?
Yeah.
So he produced all her stuff, and he approached me about doing a documentary. And he's from Atlanta too, and he grew up in Marietta, Georgia, where I kind of grew up. And we kind of hit it off. Never materialized, and I got to be I don't know what you guys are like. We should have talked about this, man. Like, if I get into a project, maybe you get into a riff or a vocal melody thing, and you just can't fucking sleep at night because you're just obsessed.
Oh yeah,
that's me, man. I'm like up all fucking night. I'm like, oh my God, man. I got to go, and I hate editing, but I'll do some editing if I have to, just to kind of get a rough thing. So I'll go in the office in there and start cutting shit at 3 a.m. Then the next thing you know, it's 9 a.m. And then you feel like shit for the next 4 days.
Yeah.
And then there's and then there's other times. Yeah. Then there's other times. Yeah. I thought I'd try to edit Hired Gun myself, which was a big fucking movie, right? To try to do.
Yeah.
And you're talking about ego. So I had to let my ego out of the way. I'm like, I can't stand in my own way. There's a lot of investors that invested in this film, and it's like a $2 million budget. Most of it went to music licensing. Like, I think we licensed like 80 fucking songs, and it ain't shit. Big songs, Kiss, Pink, Steely Dan.
It adds up. Yeah.
It adds up fast, man. And then Ray Parker's was even more. We got Stevie Wonder and Bill Withers, all these people he's played with. But what about this? When you're coming up with a riff or a vocal melody idea, do you ever hit a point where it's like white noise? Like, this is not going anywhere. I like what we have, but don't want to continue to pursue this, or is it just too much of a pain in the ass? I'll come back to it later. Do you like to like complete each song one at a time?
Sometimes there's songs where they'll like write some crazy shit, or I'm just like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. It's just one of those things where
right?
I just have to listen to it over and over, and eventually something can happen. Sometimes for inspiration, I'll start like trying out different melodies. Like, I'll just MIDI stuff out, get a MIDI piano and write stuff out, hum it and whatever, and just play it until I have like something that like is the hook, until it is what it's supposed to be. And until it gets to that point, I just it just means I need to listen to it more.
Yeah. I always love being in the studio with Stained, and I don't really like their music that much, right? It was kind of a paycheck, and they were like family because I've spent so many years with them. But Mike would come up a riff, and the band hate each other. This is NDA type shit, so don't.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron's by himself. The rest of the band, like, they just don't see eye to eye on anything. Not just this was before he got into crazy politics shit.
Okay.
But so he had a studio at his house in Worthington, Massachusetts, up in the Berkshires, right? And I stayed there for 7 months at his house. He's got an enormous home. So I stayed there. And then Mike Mushok, the guitar player, lived in Springfield, which is about an hour and 20-minute drive each way, right? So Johnny K was a producer. Johnny K did all the Disturbed albums and Three Doors. So he and I were staying at Aaron's house. And then Aaron's just lazy. He'll just come in whenever. And Mushok, he's got kids. He's organized. He's got his shit together. He likes to work from 9 to 3. Then he's done, right? And he works his ass off. Like, I've never seen him. Maybe Jason Newsted worked harder. I did some stuff with him. That guy's relentless. Kind of like you don't. Like, when you're talking about a riff, like, it's got to be fucking perfect, right?
Yeah.
That's Newsted, man. Like, it was so funny watching him track bass. He would hold his breath and turn red as an apple. He wouldn't even breathe until the thing was done, right? You need to do 8 or 9. I was like, bro, you need to here's a bag, breathe into the bag, you know. But watching Aaron Lewis, man, when the song is kind of in a rough format, you know, we would go up to Aaron's house, Johnny K would load the Pro Tools session, and Aaron would come up there just with a microphone and just start humming a melody, you know. And even though I don't like their music, I will admit he's a fucking awesome vocalist, and some of the melodies that he writes and stuff he comes up with is mind-blowing on the spot, you know. And I'm like, man, but they wrote a song, and I don't know if this has ever happened with you guys. It was called Wannabe. It was on their last, they put out one album since. It was on their it was just called Stained, right? It was the one where John Wasaki, or whatever. So they wrote a song called Wannabe, or Mike had the music for it, and Aaron tried to rap on it. And it had the most weird fucking, like,
that's a choice,
yeah, sitting in the basement with peanut butter on my dick with a dog. I was like, what? So Johnny K puts the vocals in. We go to the other studio with Mike, pull up everything so he can do his overdubs, and Mike is like, what the fuck is this? You let him do this? I can't do this. You know, he was literally pissed, right, over the idea that he came up with. You know, it's not a great song. But anyway, they paid Snoop Dogg to come in and do a couple of verses. He charges $200,000 a verse.
Woo! What?
Yeah. There's a version of it on YouTube. It didn't make that. Yeah, it didn't make all the album, but it's on YouTube somewhere. But it was interesting working with him because he and Aaron are both giant pot smokers, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I finished the documentary, and then Aaron decides he's going to go country, and at that point, country was not accepting marijuana smokers. So he's like, I hate to tell you this, man, but you need to remove anything with a marijuana. I was like, bro, you have a joint in your hand 24 hours a day. How am I? This is going to be a mess, you know. Try to work around it, man. I was like, dude, fucking killing me, man. Has he ever given you vocals that you listen to, or like, bro, what are you doing here?
No, it's never been like, oh God. Yeah. There was only one instance where I had a oh no moment, and this is just me being ignorant about the vocal recording process. And this was on our last last album, Moon Burial, and I was just curious to hear like what, you know, I'm excited to hear like the vocals and how they're sounding. And our mixer at the time sent it to us, but I mean, like, everything was just, the levels were crazy, man. And Alex, you know, he has a lot of harmonies, he has a lot of layers,
edited, and
a lot of automation and different effects. And I'm hearing it, and I'm like, oh no, because it made no sense at all. It was fucking crazy. And I'm just like, I started sweating. I'm like, oh no, man, like, what are we gonna do? But then I realized, you know, after a quick not confrontation, but back and forth with our mixer at the time, he was like, no, like, nothing is panned, nothing is automated, and there's no effects, it's dry. I'm just like, oh shit, okay, I'm never asking for that again. Never, ever, because I was like, this album is ruined.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It was bad, man.
Well, there's all these harmonies and like counterpoint stuff that's going, you know, have like falsettos, and they're not gonna sound that great up front, and you know, things that are going in different, like the main melody's going up while other things are going down, you know, like a well-arranged vocal harmony is. But like, man, if it's all at the same volume and not panned, it's gonna sound like shit.
Oh, it was a disaster.
So the cool thing is that this thing never stopped recording, so I got all this.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fucking.
We were just talking about it. I was like, fuck, man. Anyway, all right, I gotta go let the dogs out. But before I let you go, I want to show you this. You said you love Megadeth, right?
Yeah.
So David Ellison's like a brother to me. I've known him for fucking, I don't know how many years. And he used to be an A&R guy over at Peavey as well. After he exited Megadeth the first time. And he would call me. I was like, hey, man, I'm looking for a video photographer guy. You know, now the A&R, you want to work? I'm like, yeah. So for about 7 years, dude, I was their guy doing all this shit. But I was telling you, I went to the Peace Cell shows when I was on the front row, and I was on Chris Poland's side, right? So after the show, they come out and throw pics. I'm like, can I have that? It was the set list, but I still have it. Look at the set list. It is devastating. Look at those tunes, man.
Woo! Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They end with Black Friday. I got to get this frame now. Yeah. When I moved all my shit here from storage, I found almost 30 years worth of my archives and memorabilia and shit. So I've been like forgetting about stuff I've ever done. You know, you talk about Angus Young. I shot AC/DC on the Ball Breaker tour. Is that the one with the swing, with the lightning bolts?
Not the mace. I know which one you're talking about though. That word's escaping me.
Yeah, it's the one. It was the one after For Those About to Rock. Whatever that next album was the one. But you know, I'm sitting there looking. I was like, holy shit! I forgot that I shot. You know, a version of Led Zeppelin. You know, minus John Bonham.
Yeah,
like some kind of Israeli orchestra with him.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, like, damn, man, I forgot about this shit. Anyway, maybe I'll get to shoot you guys one day when you come through Oklahoma.
I'd be more than happy. That'd be awesome.
We'd be honored, man. We'd be honored. Love to hear more about more behind the scenes shit. So hey, thanks so much for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for your time. It's been a blast, man. I love learning from bands I'm not super familiar with. So this is fucking awesome. And now I'm a fan, man. I've been listening, like I said, I've been listening to your shit the last couple of days, all day. So
thank you.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, dudes. Have a good one.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Bye.